Jameis Winston did not violate the Florida State University Student Code of Conduct for allegations of sexual misconduct and endangerment. This according to a former Florida Supreme Court judge presiding over the hearing. I'm Kerry Chow, joined by ESPN ACC reporter Andrea Adelson. Andrea, why was Winston cleared here?
Well, essentially, Major Harding said in his ruling that the preponderance of evidence has not shown that he was responsible for any of the code of conduct violations that he was charged with. And quite frankly, when you look at the evidence and you look at the fact that Jameis Winston was never charged criminally, then it's not so hard to believe that he has been cleared here, because in both instances, the prosecutor in Tallahassee and now Major Harding have both said there simply was not enough evidence to find Jameis Winston guilty of a crime or, in this case, any sort of violation of the Student Conduct Code.
Winston declined to answer questions about whether he sexually assaulted the woman. How was that received at the hearing?
Well, instead of answering questions, he read a 5-page prepared statement in which he graphically detailed his version of events of that evening, in which he maintains he and the accuser had consensual sex. And in this statement, he described how they met, how they left together, how they arrived at his apartment. His teammates were there. We know Chris Casher and Ronald Darby, who have been implicated with being there and videotaping what went on between them. And throughout the course of reading this statement, he described what he believes happened. And so I think that's the reason why he didn't answer questions. He felt as if I read this statement, this will answer any questions that Mr. Harding will have. And so that's the route that they decided to take. And if you look at the end result, reading that statement certainly seemed to benefit him.
Yeah, the accuser can still appeal the decision, but what does this mean for Jameis Winston in terms of this case?
Well, I certainly think that this kind of lifts pressure off of his shoulders, lifts a weight off of him now headed into the all-important Rose Bowl semifinal game against Oregon. Yes, she still has the opportunity to appeal. Yes, there's the potential for a civil suit hanging out there, though a lot of people have talked about that perhaps once he graduates, then maybe she'll go for a civil suit as he heads into the NFL. All of that is nebulous and unclear. What is clear right now is that he has not been charged with anything, and he can completely focus on football. And I think this means that Jameis Winston is going to come out there against Oregon and prove, look, all that stuff is behind me. Now I'm going to show everybody who I am. I'm the former Heisman Trophy winner. I've got the only unbeaten team in the country, and I'm ready to make a run at this national championship. And honestly, he has been adamant, and so is Jimbo Fisher, that he was going to be cleared and not found guilty of any of these charges, and they were proven right. And now I think he can just go out there, as Jimbo Fisher would say, and play ball.
ESPN ACC reporter Andrea Adelson, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
For Andrea Adelson, I'm Kerry Chow with your latest ESPN headline.